What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Stock Watch Sunday at Own the Chaos. My name is Brad Smith and I'm your host. And what we do here on Own the Chaos is every Sunday we get together and we talk about what we're looking at for the week and how we find value in some of these stocks. And yeah, so if you're new to my channel, welcome. If you're new to this live stream thing, especially on my channel, feel free to ask any questions to the right of me when, you know, anything that pertains to tonight's topics or, you know, just stocks in general, anything that you have burning, question that, you know, you just haven't been able to get answered, feel free to ask it there and I'll be happy to address it later on in the video. So as the title says, 3 stocks that I'm watching for the month of August, and I'll explain why, and we'll go from there. So just let me reiterate, these are stocks to watch. It's not stocks to buy, not stocks to sell. You know, all of this is, you know, obviously in my opinion, how I see value and how I've found success. I think I've proven that along the way here in the last 18 months or so that I've been on YouTube. You can go ahead and check out all the stuff that I have up there if you'd like. And if you want to get that, you know, extra edge, I encourage you to check out WeTradeHQ.com. It's a social exchange network that I've created along with my partner. And it's an amazing community we built. We have over 2,100 members so far, and we've only really been live for about 6 weeks now, and it's been an amazing experience. Everybody's getting together and celebrating success, no matter how big or small, and learning all at the same time. So if you're looking to get that extra special edge, I encourage you to check that out. It's totally free to check out the site. There's other stuff, you know, if you're looking to, you know, step up your game as far as like taking a course or getting just mentored personally, there's services available for you as well. But just to network and learn from each other, all that's absolutely free. I encourage you to check it out. Again, it's WeTradeHQ.com. The link is in the description below. And here we go. So welcome, guys. I hope that you had a great weekend. I had a pretty awesome weekend. Did some fishing, got some sunburn, and you know, it's all good. But I look like I'm pretty tan. I don't know if you can see here. Look at that. I got a wicked flip-flop tan too. But lucky for me, I don't, you know, I don't burn very easily. Like I'll burn once over, and then after that, it's cool. You know, it is. You know, it's just I'm fortunate enough to not be completely pasty white, and you know, just be allergic to the sun. But so 3 stocks that we're watching this week, or that I'm watching this week, I should say. It is interesting enough. Old friend, which is MCGI, saw some you know, volume pop on that, so I'm wondering if that's going to carry into next week. So we'll go over that. HIPH, REEI. And so, you know, there might be some people that disagree, and that's completely fine. These are just stocks that I see value in and see that there could be potential to make some money. Again, you know, I've found success in looking at stocks the way that I look at them. And so if you don't see value in that, that's perfectly fine. If you do, then, you know, obviously do your own due diligence on that as well. And, you know, don't just take my word for it. This is not, you know, I'll be the first one to tell you that I don't always get it right. And, you know, so it's always important to make your own decisions and find what works for you. And so let's go ahead and do that. I'll welcome some folks in here. Keith, Craig, Bob, what's going on? Alan, always good to see you, man. You need to be heading for some surf fishing. Surf fishing, you know, that is something I've never done. I mean, I've heard of it, but it's something I've never done. It sounds pretty fun, though. You know, I've heard like kite fishing and stuff. I don't know if that's probably not along the same lines, but kite fishing I think would be something fun to do too. Yeah, so yeah, MCGI, I'll definitely address that. Josh, what's going on? Sharon, hey, good to see you. Okay, so MCGI, why am I looking at MCGI? Let's first of all shrink me down here so you all can see exactly what I'm seeing on my screen here. And I love you guys, I really do, but get the hell out of here. So let's go ahead and check out MCGI first. I have MCGI pulled up on WeTradeHQ. Again, this is a free platform that you guys can go and utilize and do technical analysis on and interact with all of your friends here. And, you know, just kind of see what it is that they see as far as value is concerned. And so MCGI, if you're not familiar with it, Looked like it had a little bit of a pop here on Friday. It had a nice solid bottom right around the 0007 range. It was confirmed multiple times on the daily chart, as you can see here. And all of a sudden on Friday, it just had sudden volume, came back all the way up from 0007 to 0011. And, maybe it's a coincidence, maybe it's not. The reason why I find a lot of these stocks at their absolute bottom and get into them so early is because I use a scanner. It's called Equity Feed. You go to equityfeed.com and download that software. I also have a referral link down in the description below. They don't sponsor me or anything, but I just simply find that their platform is the best out there. And I've explained that many times in many videos as to why. But, I saw this pop up on my momentum scanner on Equity Feed, and took interest in that again. I actually considered getting in at 0007, but wasn't quite sure how it was going to go on Friday. But now it's got me back on its radar, and I'm going to be watching this next week to see what might unfold. MCGI is it's called MedCareers Group. They have they're basically a job finder for people who are in the medical field, in particular nurses. Nursing is a huge field right now, and has been for quite some time. It's always in demand. There's always scarcity for nurses, and so if they're looking for jobs, maybe they're looking in a different area of the country, whatever, MCGI is the platform that helps those folks out when it comes to finding a job. And so, interestingly enough, the person who took over MCGI is also the CEO of Jobs.com. So if we go into the disclosures here, this is OTC Markets. If you're not familiar with this, or if you're new to trading over-the-counter stocks, you look at these SEC filings. They're looking to get current. The latest filing came out. There's a couple of 8Ks that they were doing some partnerships with, but the things that I'm looking for is they got reinstated in May, and they've been trying to get current ever since. So the most current filing they have is January 2017 for a 2016 year, and so I'm wondering if not they're looking to maybe get the rest of those updated. People like to always roll their eyes with like, what's taking so long? Why does this take forever? Filings are not easy to do. You got to get the right accountant to help you out, the right CPA to get all your filings in order. You got to have lawyers involved. It costs a ton of money to take care of, and so these things take time. MCGI is no day trade. In my opinion, it's a long-term hold for people who are still in it. I chose to, I made some decent money when it ran into the high 002s, was able to get out still in the 002s as it was downtrending, and I obviously was waiting for some sort of solid bottom and some sort of catalyst to send this back up. So it got down 0007, sudden volume came back in, as you can see here. Now I'll zoom in here for you a little bit. So this is Friday. This is a Friday candle. You can see that it jumped up. Here's a volume bar here that's in the shadow of that, and so it really started to get some attention on Friday. Could it be something? I think it could be. Could it be nothing? Possibly. But that's why we watch these things, right? I was wanting to see if it was on here. These are all my scanners for those of you who are wondering what the heck I'm doing. Yeah, it didn't pop up towards the end of the day. But, just saw some sudden volume that it's not used to seeing as far as, buying is concerned. And the fact that it went from 0007 to 0011 just on Friday, maybe there's a reason people are buying into this all of a sudden. We see this all the time. Historically, when that happens, you see unusual volume, especially after a downtrend or it's reached a solid bottom support level, and all of a sudden a rush of buying volume comes in. There's a chance that it could mean that there's a catalyst getting ready to come up, and so maybe this could be more filings. Maybe this could be one more step to getting current, and so we'll just keep this one on watch. That's why I see value in this. The CEO of Jobs.com is obviously a big deal, especially when he's behind something like this that's being traded at 0.001 cents per share, and we'll just see. The thing that I like about this is that we're always looking for there's a cycle with over-the-counter stocks, right? If you guys aren't familiar with this already, reinstatements that get reinstated with Secretary of States, whether it's Nevada, Wyoming, Florida, whatever, reinstatements. So then people look for reinstatements, and why? they look for reinstatements because, you know, reinstatement means that there's a somebody out there that's looking to get this company alive again in order to do something with it. And so that's the big question mark, right? So you're going to reinstate, then you're going to get that company current if their filings are back, you know, or out of date, or if they're behind on their filings. And then after that, that's when the meat of why it is that they're going to get current and going through all this trouble, spending money, all kinds of money just to get it current, to do what with. And so that is why I see value in MCGI. We looked at share structure. The most recent reported share structure looks pretty decent. The way it's being traded is pretty decent as far as share structure is concerned as well. And so after they get current, we get to figure out why it is that they went through all this trouble of getting this company current. And so maybe it's that they're merging with jobs.com, or maybe that they're going in a whole different direction with this. Nobody quite knows yet because, you know, obviously that's all like insider information. But we trade these types of stocks in anticipation of that. There's a such thing as hype, and then you can capitalize on that hype, or you can capitalize on the what if, or what could happen. And so that is why, you know, it's important to know the cycle of these stocks and what goes on and what occurs. And so that is why I see value in something like this. Next one, HIPH. I'll go ahead and pull up the ticker for that on WeTradeHQ.com. And so HIPH, obviously, you know, as far as a trading standpoint, not getting a whole lot of love here. And, you know, you're probably asking why. Why is it that you see any kind of value in this? Well, it's a very thinly traded stock. I am already personally invested in this. And the reason is because there's events that are going to be happening towards the end of the month that I think could potentially you know, increase the value and the price per share of this stock in particular. And the reason that I zoom this out is because if you can see here in February, it was just a simple event that happened in February, took this thing over 10 cents. And it wasn't much power that did that. That's why we look for these share structures that are a little bit on the small side. In order to send them, it doesn't take much effort to do that. Right now it's being traded at 0.143. And so I think I've gotten in a little bit on the high side. It was closer to 2 cents. I am, you know, sitting, you know, down on this a little bit, but I have also averaged down on it just to kind of see where this thing is going. I want to see what's going on 827. As you can see here, I've already posted that. So I want 827. There's going to be a full launch of their hydrogen infused, or their CBD infused hydrogen water. Hydrogen water is actually up and coming. They have it in several GNC stores already, and so there's going to be a you know, distribution of this on the 27th. And so that is why I see value in that right now. It's just one of those things where it's the only hydrogen water. I know you're probably scratching your heads about this. The only hydrogen water CBD product that's out there on the market. And if you've done all the research on hydrogen water and benefits of hydrogen water, then you could be, you know, you could see the value that I've seen, I should say. And so company will begin selling Lapina on August 27th. Could be in several GNC stores already. They already have them lined up. They also have a fashion line as well. They're an acquisition company. They have their hands in several other things, but this is the event that I'm looking forward to in August. Now, I'm not saying, again, that this is for sure going to send it. You know, I even hesitated to say that I was actually in it, just because I don't want to influence people to just go ahead and buy it just because I bought it. But, you know, I just see the value in it. I like the way that it's being traded so thinly. I like the way that, you know, the direction that they're headed in. Obviously, sales mean revenue, and revenue means, you know, increase in valuation of the company. And so we'll see. This is one thing that, you know, it's slow in the summertime, obviously, but I think this could be one of those nice little summertime, you know, pops. And so we'll see. We'll see what happens. Next one is REEI. There's been mixed opinions on REEI. One thing we want to look at REEI, though, is that Dave Lazar is a CEO looking to get custodianship on Tuesday. Custodianships are always a pretty positive catalyst, and oftentimes they run into that custodianship. And so you want to be on the watch and lookout of this on REEI. I'll pull this up here for you. Oops. Sorry about that. REI. Ran 83% on Friday. And it's been, you know, trending upwards into that event. You know, this happens oftentimes within custodianships where it trends into the event. And so we could definitely see a continuation of that tomorrow and into Tuesday into that custodianship. The risk here is that if the custodianship is not granted, you could, you know, lose out if you're not careful. So you want to play this one wisely. I would not, you know, if you are have a small account and you're looking to just do some, if you're like in an account building process, this wouldn't be something that I would say, yeah, you can hold on to forever, unless your risk tolerance is there. If your risk tolerance is, you know, I'd want to wait and see if the custodianship goes through and then see what happens after that, then it's one of those things where that's your decision. If it were me, then maybe I probably wouldn't consider just holding on to this too long if I'm just account building. If you're looking to make a long-term investment, then maybe this could be the one for you. It just depends on where you're at, what stage in the game you are, and, you know, if you see value in something like this or not. We look into the share structure here. It's got, you know, not much going on because we're still waiting on that custodianship, but the way that it's been trading, as you can tell, you know, not much volume that sends this, you know, upwards. So there's not a whole lot of trading volume that needs to occur in order to fluctuate the price per share. And you can see here that REEI is definitely one to be on the watch list just based off of the way it's been trading as of recent going into this event. One thing you need to be mindful of, especially in the OTC, is that when they have events like this, such as custodianships, reinstatement plays, court cases, whatever else, oftentimes these things like to run into the event. And so that is why I see value in certain stocks such as this. It's just one of those things where you always, if it's not broke, don't fix it, right? And so I historically look at stocks that have reacted towards catalysts such as this, and that's how I base my value. I'm not saying that this stock is going to run forever once it gets custodianship, but Dave Lazar is known to historically have pretty successfully running stocks. And, you know, oftentimes when this custodianship happens, a merger usually ends up following. It's a lot like those Joe Acaro stocks that I've pointed out in the past as well. Not quite as successful as Joe Acaro, but it seems like everything that he has his name on goes to gold. But Dave Lazar is definitely up there when it comes to having, you know, positively impacted certain stocks such as this after custodianships. So it's just one of those things where you just, again, these are all stocks to watch, not stocks that I'm encouraging anybody to buy or to sell. It's just, here's the value that I see in them, and see if that works for you, or see if you see value that I see. And if you don't, you don't. You don't have to agree with everything that I do or I say, and that's the beauty of our community, is that nobody has egos around here. It's just, you know, here's what I'm seeing. If you don't see it, that's cool. If you do, great. Maybe we all can win together. You know, it's just, you know, I'm providing a way for you to learn and try to find stocks like this to be able to make money on and to change your life for the better. So with that, I'll go ahead and address, see if anybody's got any questions. SLSX. I did see the reinstatement on that. We can go back and check that out. Do I have to have 25,000 in order to buy and sell instant? I don't know what that means. You're going to have to clarify that for me. So let's see here. SLSX. I know that it was recently reinstated. Let me go back and share screen here. Well, that was a loud car. I don't know if you guys heard that. Good Lord. All right. SLXX. Is that what it was? Let me make sure I get this right. SLSX. Okay. SLSX. SLSX. That's really hard to say. SLXX. Why is it not showing up? Well, this one's probably way down in the, yeah. Must be one that's like, obviously has stop sign since it was recently reinstated. Seamless Technology. Let's look to see what the most recent disclosures they have on it, if there are any. Nothing. Have a quarterly report back in 2013. Security details. Most recent report on float. It's not there. 2013. It's really something that I probably wouldn't. I mean, look, the majority of reinstatement plays usually are positively impacted in a way that where if you bought into this, you might end up making a little bit of money on there. But there's that risk involved. There's too many question marks. When I see something that has so many question marks around it, it's kind of like, you know, maybe I should just either watch this and maybe make a play if I see momentum coming on off of it. If I don't, then I'm just going to stay away. When you see something like that, doesn't have any kind of filings or anything in, you know, almost 6 years, you know, I'm not going to just simply play this because there's a reinstatement. You know, I would say probably around 60% of reinstatement plays end up being a positive, you know, going in the direction that you want it to go into if you buy into it as soon as it's reinstated. But that's a 60% chance that it will. Are you willing to risk your money based off of the chance that it could? Or do you want to wait and see what kind of other filings, and is there any kind of PR that comes out of that reinstatement? There's tons of reinstatements that come out. I won't say tons, but there's plenty of reinstatements that come out almost every day. And, you know, what are the chances that every single one of them are going to work out? There isn't. So if you want to day trade this based off of maybe there's sudden volume that comes into this, and you just want to play that momentum based off of the reinstatement alone, if you want to risk that, if your risk tolerance is there, then by all means, go ahead and do that. But if you're going to sit here and say, I want to just hang out in this one and see what happens, again, that's going to be something that you're just going to basically you're playing the lotto at that point. You know, yeah, your odds might be pretty good as far as that's concerned. I think statistically it's around 60% that, you know, reinstatements, they end up going in the right direction on that. But that's just something that I'm not sure I would be willing to risk my money on when it comes to, you know, long-term investment. You want to make a day trade out of it, sure, maybe that could be positive impact for you. But I think SLSX was reinstated as of, you know, Thursday night, Friday morning last week, so maybe that momentum could already be dying. We just don't know. There's too many question marks. If you want to keep it on your watch list, maybe I would suggest doing that, putting on a watch list and seeing if they start submitting filings. They start submitting filings to get current, then, you know, my ears might perk up on that, and then we can kind of just dig into it a little bit, see if there's any more value in that. So that's my take on SLSX. Okay, so what's up with IMTV? Recent bear? Yeah, I don't know what's up with IMTV. It's pretty frustrating for me too. You know, again, this is a long hold for me. IMTV is. I see the value because of everything they've been doing as of recent. They had one venue in Cincinnati that turned positive results. They had another great venue that turned positive. We're waiting to see revenue numbers on that. I expect price increase on that. They had news that came out that no dilution will be occurring. No dilution will be occurring as long as it sits below 0.004 cents per share. And so with all that going on, I mean, they had stars in that venue 2 weeks ago. That included 6ix9ine, Smoke Perp, Little Pump even showed up. And for those of you who don't know who they are big names in the industry, huge names, bring millions of dollars in revenue. Wouldn't probably bring millions of dollars in revenue at that event, but still a ton of money was made at that event all around. And so it'd be interesting to see IMTV, what those numbers are. And I personally am excited to see that, and we'll see what happens after that comes out, what their next event's going to be looking like, and you know, we'll just see. Are you still in CMGO? I made it clear that I wasn't in CMGO for some time now. I, you know, made my profit on it. and I specifically said that I was, after I sold for profit on it, that I was going to continue to watch it. As I've said before, it's one of those things where it's a court case and they can be long and drawn out. It was exciting to see that it looked as if a settlement was finally going to be happening in May. Unfortunately, it didn't. And so the stock's basically been downtrending ever since. It's had some, ups and downs, some pops here and there on reinstatement news and everything else. But again, this is one thing that we're just going to have to wait and see when the settlement actually happens. It's still on my watch list. It's still on my radar, but I'm currently not invested in it until I see something, stable that comes out with it. CMGO, when it got reinstated, a lot of people were hopping into this thing thinking this was going to be it. But I specifically told everybody in my mentorship group, which, you should check out if you're interested, that everybody's so focused on the settlement news that I don't think this reinstatement news is going to sustain any kind of gains that happen throughout that day. And so people might have had a good time making a day trade out of it. It's just again, I don't think you're going to see a solid, steady run from CMGO until we see that settlement news come out. I want big pump. What's the difference between average daily trading volume versus volume? So, are you talking about dollar volume or share volume? There's two different things. So you have dollar volume and then you have share volume. So share volume is obviously the amount of shares that are being traded throughout the day, and dollar volume is the amount of money that's being traded throughout the day. So it could be a more expensive stock that maybe has $1 million of trading volume, but it only has, let's say, a few 100,000 shares in share volume. And so that's how that would work. As far as average daily trading volume goes, that's the amount of share volume. That's probably what you're looking at when you're looking at the profile of a stock. So it's the average share volume you would see on a day-to-day basis. So if the volume is higher than that average daily volume on that specific day, then that means that stock's being traded, more, has more activity that day than it does on average. So, any thoughts on WMLP trading halted on news Friday? I didn't hear anything about that. Sorry about that. If trading was halted, I don't think there's really anything else to think about. I mean, if trading was halted on it, and I'm not sure, is that an OTC stock? I don't know. We'll see. But if trading was halted on it, then that's probably not a good thing. RDGL, yeah, folks that are in RDGL, I think there's some value there. We'll see what happens as far as any kind of catalysts go from. If you guys aren't familiar with, it's a canine sarcoma company. They've made this pharmaceutical company that has products that help canines and even other animals who have that for cancer treatment. And as anybody knows, it's a huge market. People are always looking to save their pets. It's only growing bigger and bigger. It's hundreds of billions of dollars every year in that industry. And so actually RDGL is the only stock in existence as far as the OTCs is concerned that addresses this and actually has a business revolving around that type of product. So we'll see what goes with that. I'm not currently invested in that, but I'm sitting back and watching that one, see where it goes. Does PDT rule apply to the OTC? Yes, it does. If you have a margin account and you're looking to trade OTCs and you have less than $25,000 in your account to trade with, then the PDT rule still applies to you. If you're not familiar with PDT rule it means you can't make more than 3-day trades within a 5 business day period. So that's round trip. So you can't make a purchase and a sell within a trading day more than 3 times in a 5-day business period. 5 business day period. And so, yeah, so it still applies to the OTC. It applies to all types of trading on the New York Stock Exchange as well as the OTC. So everything looks like it's drying up here, guys. I wanted to address and again congratulate our new partner within WeTrade HQ, and that is Scott Phillips. He's going to be joining us come Tuesday, and his course will go live on Tuesday as well. We're trying to get him to participate in Discord. He's a little unfamiliar with Discord, as a lot of people are. Believe it or not, Discord isn't like some household name, and so some of these traders that trade in different areas of the market might not be familiar with Discord. So we're trying to get him aboard on Discord just to kind of like familiarize himself with you guys and you make things a little bit more personal. But he is having a free webinar on YouTube. The link for that is in the description below. And it will be on at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. He will go live and he will address his course within WeTrade HQ and us welcoming him into the fold within our community. He doesn't trade OTCs. The whole point of WeTrade HQ and building that community was to provide a network not just for people who are trade OTCs, but people who trade anything. My vision for WeTrade HQ was to make it way bigger than myself, and I wanted to make sure that we were catering to all walks of life and people who trade in different areas of the market. And so Scott, he trades futures and he also trades Forex. It's on a very simple fundamental technical analysis tool. It's called reading the tape. If you're not familiar with that, it's a very old term that a lot of people have forgotten about, and that he's kind of reinvigorated and found tons of success by reading the tape. I'm actually looking forward to having him aboard, so maybe that I could learn a little bit. I'm actually looking to broaden my horizons a little bit when it comes to those types of styles of trading. And so I'm very interested to see how he interacts with us and in our community, and just really looking forward to that. And I know for a fact that he'll be able to help you guys out that are interested in trading Forex and futures. I understand that OTC isn't everything. So that is just one piece of the puzzle, though. We have other partners that we're looking to bring on board as well that involve options, momentum day trades, just on the stock exchange itself, and cryptocurrencies. We're looking for all those folks. So they are already in the works. We have contracts signed and all of that. So it's all a process. Obviously, it takes a little bit of time to get all that together. But I promise you, we have more in store for you and WeTrade HQ community. So with that, guys, as you always know, please like and subscribe. Smash that like button. If you're new to my channel, if you learned something here, if you're interested in WeTrade HQ or just my channel here, I would appreciate a subscription. And check us out I'm all over social media. Links are all in the description. As always, I will see you all before the bell. And B. Smith is out. Take it easy, guys.